we're going to hit something new. We're going to do an album review, but we're going to be reviewing a throwback. That's right, we're throwing it back to the Newsboys. Now, I'm not talking about Michael Tate version of Newsboys. I'm talking Peter Furler version of the Newsboys, the ones that were the Newsboys of my prime. And then, now I'm a man. Anyway, we're going to be listening to an album from them. This is what I consider to be one of their best albums, and it is the 2006 release Go. I was having a discussion with my buddy Mark, and he was like, you should listen to the album Go and do a reaction. And I was like, it's a great idea. I haven't listened to this in years, but I listened to this album relentlessly, but I haven't thought about it in a minute. So we're going to fire it off, and we're going to hit it with track 1. We're going to rate them. We're going to rate the whole album. Why not? It's a long album. 11 songs. January 1st, a New Year release with In Pop Records. And let's see, who produced this album? Produced by Peter Furler and Ted Tjornholm. Ted. Here we go. This is Wherever We Go by the Newsboys. Nice charge into it. See, what's cool about that is they're playing with the stereo, and then all of a sudden it's like whapa into the lyrics.
Where we go, little glowworms glow, little road runners run ahead. Gonna tell their friends, little mice, little men, get them all excited, all invited. Hands up, holler back here, let's throw this party in gear. We brought the welcome mat, wherever we go, that's where the party's at.
Okay, all right. I mean, such a cool song. What a way to start an album. They're playing with the stereo there for a moment. You hear a lot of space echo and stuff on Peter Furler's vocals. And then you have this really interesting thing where, the drums are full hi-hat and like kind of this offbeat situation. And then when it goes to the chorus, it switches to the toms. I love that switch up because you expect a chorus to go full on like ride cymbal crashing out. And instead it just kind of goes to this really cool beat going on. And then you have the electric guitars doing these runs in the background. And it's just so cool. The stacked vocals, everything. Out of 10, we're going to run it. We're going to run it with a 7.5 or an 8. We got to give it some headroom. All right, next up, we got the song Go. Nice. Super cool. Again, they're playing with the stereo stuff here. And then you've got this bass that's staying dead center. And then it's kind of this response over in your right ear, almost synth bass. And then you've got Peter Furler singing the low lead. And in unison, really high, it sounds like you've got Phil Joel, I believe, who was the bass player at the time. It sounds really cool together. Let's keep going.
Are you gonna lend a hand?
Always like this break.
And assist. I wanna send you there. From the top of the world to the bottom rung. Till the work is done, I'm gonna send you.
Yeah, great song too. I don't know that I like it as much as Wherever We Go, but the production's cool, the writing's cool. This is the CCM that it doesn't feel like CCM does now. They're trying interesting stuff out. The lyrics are fun. A 7, a 7.5, 7.4. Up next, we have Something Beautiful. I can already tell you, I like this song. I like the production. I love that guitar. Palm muted guitar is so cool. I love the synth that's happening at the beginning. Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da. Kind of that deep pounding bass. And then, of course, you've got this really cool filter that comes in right before the chorus on Peter Furler's vocals.
Voice that whispers my name. It's a kiss without any shame. Something beautiful, yeah, yeah. Like a song that stirs in my head. Singing love will take us where something's beautiful. I've heard it.
Yeah. Solid song. The lyrics are cool too. This idea of kind of pointing out the beauty of life and all of these things, and reflecting on God with that. Love that song. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Next up is The Mission. I don't know that I remember this song, so we're gonna blind react to it, kind of.
When the riders came from Bethlehem, all breathless with good news, they were passing a baton forward through time. The commission from
Cool little bass line in the background. Ba-da-da-da-da in the background. Not overly wowed by this song. This one feels a little more typical CCM radio play. Throwing one of those out there. You've had 3 pretty creative, interesting songs, and then you have this one. Although I do like the fact that it's a gospel-centered song. So, A+ on that, but let's hear the chorus.
And I can hear the mission bell ring out loud and clear. It's a revolution Jesus started and is here.
This one feels very youth group, if that's a thing you can say. For my generation of youth group goers, this feels like a song that you would hear in a youth group scenario. I don't mean that as good or bad. I don't know exactly what I mean by that. Either way, I'm landing on like a 6 here for The Mission. Next up, we've got Let It All Come Out. Definitely don't remember this one. It's one of the least played on the album. Maybe it's for a good reason. Maybe it's underrated. Okay.
Who's touched you, child? Now you can't feel a thing, not anything. Who's been the one telling you lies?
So far, I'm not a huge fan of this one. This one feels like it's right that it's not very good in middle of the road. It's just kind of this fake sounding piano with little in the background. Yeah, it feels like a boring U2 song, and I like U2, so this is Let It All Come Out. It's a 4. Stamped it. Next up is In Wonder. A million plays on this one so far. So, I remember this one, but not well.
So much wonder carved in your coral seas. So much wonder shaded by ancient trees. I consider all your hands have made. Every new sunrise, no
That's cool.
power can tame your presence. No light can match your radiance.
All right, before we drop to the chorus, this feels like when they did those worship-facing albums, those worship-focused albums, Devotion. That feels like this belongs on that album. This album feels to me is like, the first 3 tracks are like, this is interesting. This is really fun. We're going to go crazy with this album from the Newsboys. And instead, it's like the 3 tracks hammer really hard, and then you kind of get, Okay, yeah, I remember it, and it basically repeats that. It's a cool chord change that you don't necessarily expect in there. But In Wonder, I'm going to go middle of the road again, 5. 5 on there. Your Love is Better Than Life. I remember this song, and I remember it feeling weird even then. So let's see if I've changed in taste now. Intro is great. It's very Styx. Yeah, that's cool. I like the start of it. I forgot about that. It kind of sounds like Mr. Roboto is about to happen, but the guitar is awesome. But what I don't think I like is what, if I remember correctly, I don't think I like it very much.
I don't know nothing that I haven't been taught. I don't know what I was born into, the family I got. I don't know if I ever had an original thought. Maybe not, maybe so, maybe later. I don't know, I don't know.
I appreciate what's happening, I guess, but it turns into this very like with kind of Australian, not even rap. It's just kind of dialogue. I remember not really liking it then, and I don't like it now. Let's hear the chorus though.
Your love is better than life. Got your love, it's on my mindless streets. Your love.
Done. That one, 3. I guess I'm giving it a 3. Tell me if I'm off on that one. Some people I bet like that song, but if you disagree with me, let me know. Next is I Am Free. This is a classic. Great intro. Cool stuff. This one also reminds me of youth group. So good memories associated with it, and let's see what it sounds like.
The blind will see, through the mute will sing, through the
Cool.
dead
The piano.
will rise, through our hearts will praise.
Yeah, it's a classic song. Good youth group hype song for back in the day. Probably would work well again now. A little out of style for where we're at, but let's hear the it's kind of a call and response chorus. Feels more like you would hear it at an arena or something like that, at a winter jam, perhaps a winter fest. Anyway, what I'm saying is that it's not a bad song. I give that one a 7. We're landing kind of in that 7 zone. Next up is Secret Kingdom. Okay, it reminds me of Belly of the Whale that they did for Jonah, the VeggieTales movie. At least it's reminding me of that in the moment. Let's see something. Yeah, it's kind of similar, but it's, you know, that's nothing terrible. I mean, like Secret Kingdom sounds like Belly of the Whale. Or maybe not. I feel like I'm off on that.
This here comes breaking in like bricks of glass, like grace to sin. Gonna kick down walls like West Berlin. Shouting amen, hug it out then.
I don't know how much of it was written by Peter Furler lyrically. Let's take a look here at the credits. Written by Peter Furler and Steve Taylor, also a prominent writer. Yeah, Peter Furler's a great lyricist. That is missed in the current Newsboys. That's for sure missed in the current Newsboys.
It's here, spinning our world around, turn it upside down. This here is bigger than showbiz. It's gonna show us what the good news really is.
Kind of forgot about it. What I think is interesting is some of these lyrics, we hear them and we have to put in perspective that they weren't cliche for that, right? Like this was kind of uncharted territories. This feels like it belongs on the first part of this album, or that we need to cut out some of the fat and put that with the rest. So next song up is number 10, The Letter.
I wrote you a letter, things could be better, full of promises.
I mean, that rhymes, I guess.
Have you read it? It talks about you and me. And
I do find this aggravating as a sound because the piano is just very like ba ba ba. Wrote you a letter. You know, it's just very choppy.
this is your time. Rise and shine. Shout your one of a kind.
It's a feel-good song. Definitely not top tier. I give it a 5 along with Your Love Is Better Than Life. Closing track, Gonna Be Alright, number 11.
Inside me, there's a child afraid of growing up and letting go.
Yeah. Inside me, there's a... Pete, what? You could have done another take, dude. You could have... You sure you want to sing like that?
Inside me, there's a wall of danger.
Not vibing with this one. I'm not feeling it.
These things will happen tonight. Oh, it's gonna be alright.
Okay, so it gets a little better as it goes on. They're layering in stuff. It's kind of interesting. It feels a little... almost ahead of its time, and it feels old school in some ways, but it kind of just feels like a bunch of friends were in a room and started playing the same chord riff over and over again, and then Peter Furler got up to the mic and was like, out of the whole album, let's just, look at it. I'm going to give it a 7.8. That's what I'm sticking with. 7.8 for Go by the Newsboys. If you like this content, subscribe. Stick around. I'm going to try to keep doing some interesting stuff like this, but looking forward to hitting some other reviews and some other listening stuffs. I'm just going to end the video there.